All right, guys, we're doing it a little different today. Actually, this may end up just being an extra video for us. I'm not sure yet, but we had to sit out here and do some listing or some photographing for List Easier, and I figured we don't often get a chance to actually sit down and answer questions. We read all the comments on YouTube. We see every single one of them. We don't often get a chance to sit down and answer them all because it would be very time consuming. So I saw Joe at Profit First doing this the other day, and I thought it was kind of a great format to sit down and answer questions. So I figured we'd give it a shot. His videos are going to be much better than ours, but we're going to give it a shot anyway. So I've got the YouTube comments pulled up over here from our previous video, and I'm just going to sit here and try and list some of these stereo views or photograph them. And as we go through them, we'll just kind of answer some of the questions. We'll attempt it. We'll see how I can multitask today. So the first question comes from 865 Picker. And his comment was, and your decision to start a separate store, can you tell me why you would not just have a specific category in your existing store for your cookbooks? In other words, why would that not be just sufficient to do it that way versus opening another store? Thank you. Thank you for your question, 865 Picker. That's actually a really good question. We do have a reason behind it, believe it or not. Teresa, you want to tell them what it is?
Do I know what it is? I don't know what it is. I mean, I do, but I do and I don't. I think it's just because we list items that are $25 and above on our main store, right?
Yes, that is one reason. We're trying to protect the sanctity of our core business, our main store, and we don't want to flood it with low dollar stuff. But that's actually the smaller reason for me. But as far as doing that on a separate store for me, kind of the premise behind that is that if we're doing a very niche store, sorry, I took a bad photo there. If we're doing a very niche store, it lets us market to our customers much better. There's a much higher chance that we're going to get 2, 3, 4 purchases per customer. Is that light as bad as I think it is? I think it's really bad. Hold on. Maybe that's a little bit better. Maybe that's worse, I'm not sure. But yeah, for return customers, so we're branding each store now, and that gives us an opportunity to market to those customers because we know exactly what they're interested in. It's not an everything store, but it also allows us to curate products just for that store. So for example, the Ephemera store, when we started doing a lot of these, we started making these trays to store them in. And if we needed trays to store these in as a seller, it was a very easy leap to say, okay, collectors probably need a way to store them too. So we could sell stuff like that would be much more difficult to market that to our customers if we were on an everything store. So that's kind of why we did that. And so far that's actually worked out really good for us. Matter of fact, I think in one of our previous videos, maybe not this one that we're taking comments from, but the one before that, we talked about the fact that the previous month, our last full month on the Ephemera store, we sold more in 3D printed products than we did Ephemera. And those I just have to go hit a button and print. So that's kind of why we're doing it that way. Cookbook store is much the same. We've got these kind of cookbook stands, kind of a modern looking little cookbook stand. So it really lets us niche down and dive into stuff that you'd have a hard time marketing that. We can't send out like an email to all our customers on our main store and say, hey, do you want a cookbook stand? Like they're not going to know what the heck we're talking about. And why would they want a cookbook stand if they came in and bought a muffler part? So it gives us kind of a very niche store with a very targeted audience. So we could do more on those niche stores. That's kind of the idea. I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't ramble too much. But thank you for your question. Let's see. The next one comes from Bonell 508. She says, grinding is not boring.
Yeah, it is.
I disagree. Teresa's way better at just grinding through the boring than I am. We talked about that. It's more than boring for me. I think it's boring for everybody. I think it's boring for Teresa too. And well, it must be. She just said it was. I think some people just handle boring better. Like I don't handle boring well. So it is boring. What are you talking about? Let's see. Picking with the pages. Thank you for your comment. You all cracked me up. Congratulations on the knife. That's awesome. Oh, Dana. Dana? Yeah, Dana, Dana. Thank you. That was a really cool one. We got that from Two Chicks Resell on the dollar auction. And that was awesome. Very unexpected, but a very cool find. Teresa was more excited than me on that one.
I was. It's just nice to find interesting things that you get and go with it.
And I think that whole knife was kind of a testament to Teresa succeeding with the boring. It really did look like any other knife. We probably have 7 other knives around here that look just like it. It's just one of those little junk drawer pocket knives. It's very unassuming. I would have never given it a second look if it was sitting on a shelf. It just happened to be the right brand and the right knife to do very, very well as an auction. So that's, like I said, that's a good testament to the boring. Teresa did the boring research and it worked out. I'm going to butcher these names. I know I am. Okay,
Corral?
no. Okanagan dude, 4742. I don't know. It
Which one?
says this one right here. Is it Okanagan?
Oh,
I'm touching stuff. I gotta go back.
only I don't know how.
Okanagan.
I don't know.
Okanagan dude.
Dude, we're just going to call him
I don't
Dude.
know. It says eBay is dead in Canada. You're very fortunate in the USA. We did kind of touch on that in a video. You're right. It is for a lot of Canadian sellers right now. eBay is not
Not their friend.
eBay is kind of a hostile work environment for anyone out of the U.S. And, well, it's not. It is right now due to current policies and tariffs and stuff like that. I think eBay's good worldwide. They have their own eBay. I think the main problem and what he's kind of touching on here is that what makes eBay work is the consumer. And the U.S. has the consumers. I mean, we're kind of the world market as far as consumers go. There isn't another market that I'm aware of on the planet right now that has the consumers the United States has. So everybody's business that wants to sell consumer goods kind of relies on the US market. I don't know. This is a touchy subject. We got yelled at this one before for voicing our opinion. I don't think it's fair that the US market is kind of the US consumer is kind of the whipping boy of the world. And I don't think you should have access to that free or cheap or easy. I think people in the U.S. selling to the U.S. consumer, and I do realize they do have it easier. There are hurdles that outside of the country has to jump. I actually think it should be more difficult than it has been in the past. I don't think access to that kind of consumer market should be as easy as it has been. And again, I'm not trying to be political here. I don't fall on one side or the other as far as that. I don't want to get into that debate. But I do see it as being a really good thing for the U.S. consumer and U.S. businesses right now. We do have a major advantage, and if you can capitalize on that, if you can take advantage of it while this is happening, I think you're going to do very good this fourth quarter. Is, I guess, the moral of the story. I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think we're going to see the pendulum swing back the other way. The U.S. does need the rest of the world in terms of products and manufacturing. I'm not saying they don't, but I do think it should be a market. It should be a privilege to access this market. The buyers are here. I don't think that should be just a given that anybody can access those buyers. So that's kind of where we fall on that. I am sorry that your business is struggling right now. I know if I was in Canada and I had to rely on just the Canadian market to sell to, I'd
be complaining too.
Yeah, I'd be complaining too. I'd be in your shoes. I would not be happy about that. So I completely empathize with what's going on there. JOYS5LE.
I think it's Joy.
Joy? Or Joyce? It's not Joyce. There's no C. Joy? Okay, Joy. I had a large inventory pile that I stopped shopping 6 months ago. I had such a large inventory pile that I stopped shopping 6 months ago. Plus life takes over. It makes you realize that you need to reduce your unlisted pile in the storage area. I had a foundation problem and had to move all my inventory to have work done on my foundation. Oh, you mean the foundation in your house? I thought you meant a foundational business problem, but you actually meant the foundation in your house.
Yep.
Then at the same time, I had to have my furnace replaced. Yuck. That did it for me. I haven't sourced for 6 months or shopped for 6 months. I'm so into getting rid of stuff and it's working. I probably have enough to keep me busy for the next 6 months.
Good.
That's awesome. Not about the foundation and the furnace. That's not awesome. But it's good that something spurred you into that direction. We've kind of, if you've been watching the videos, we've been kind of in purge mode now for a while. Anything that's older on our store, we've been very aggressive about getting, like just building big lots and throwing it on the dollar auction and just getting it out of here. And part of that is that main store, we're switching up how we do things. We're going to more of a high ticket model on that store. So the shelf space is worth more than it used to be. And a tote of $15 items it should be a tote of $50, $60, $70 items is kind of what we're trying to do. So we have to get rid of those $15 items. So we've been just gradually, every week we post 12 new box lots onto the dollar auction, and we just cycle them out of here, and they leave. And if they don't leave, then we combine that box with another box, and we increase the size of the box lot, and it usually leaves the second time around. And if it doesn't, we'll go donate it. It's just got to leave here. It just can't be here. So that's kind of what we've been doing. So I know what you mean by the downsizing, and it does feel good when a tote empties. That used to be scary for us when a tote emptied. Because we have long winters here, and I'm not sure where you're from, but here we have long winters. So when you have an empty tote, it just feels like you didn't do your job that summer. Like the winter's going to hit and drag on for 8 months, and then you're going to be stuck with no inventory. But the one thing we've kind of found out, we had to kind of step back and look at it a little bit. We have never struggled to get inventory. Like inventory acquisition is a part of this business that's never been difficult. Like it's the easiest part, it's the funnest part, it's the most exciting part. It's never been the most difficult part. Like what we're listing here with all the stereo views and postcards, I don't have to go out and get these. I literally hop on eBay and I look for a lot that I like. They're selling 100, 200 at a time. And I put the bid in and I wait till the end of the week. And they send me hundreds of postcards or hundreds of stereo views. Like getting the inventory is not a difficult thing. We have online auctions, we have Facebook Marketplace, we have garage sales, thrift stores, 100 different online sourcing opportunities. So getting rid of this stuff is actually the harder part, if that makes sense. So it is good to get rid of it however you can. It definitely made us not as tied to our inventory as we used to be. But good luck with the foundation and the furnace. I know we had to replace an air conditioner not too long ago.
It was the air conditioner and the furnace.
Yeah, it was. The whole unit downstairs and outside had to go, so yuck. I don't like that. Let's see. Breeze Flippers. Hey, Breeze Flippers. You speak the truth. I had to get a grip on my business because it felt like a storage facility and not a reseller. We're getting it in order now. Sourcing is fun and I won't stop, but now I'm crazy busy listing. Oh, the fat guy working at McDonald's was classic. Yeah. We slipped in some McDonald's analogies in the last video. If you haven't watched that last video, go ahead and watch that. That was a pretty good video. We had fun making that one. But yeah, there's just another example. And that sentiment was kind of played over and over on that video, that a lot of people have those big death piles. They did the sourcing, they did the fun part, but the boring part kind of plugged up the system. So Breeze Flippers wasn't alone in that. We heard that over and over on that video. And not only did we hear it on the video, we heard it echoing around this giant shop. Because just looking around, I mean, just looking around here, like we have problems too. We definitely have some problems too here. As far as the inventory goes, like we have, let's see, get the camera set up right. So we've been in that boat, we're in that boat, and we're working very hard to get back out of that boat. Let's see, I need a sticky. I don't have a sticky. Can you bring me a sticky pad? If I don't take a picture of where the number is, where I'm at in these, I'll get lost. So I'm batching these. I'm building big batches of these, and I'll throw all those in a folder, and they'll just get listed with List Easier. So this is now currently the hardest part of my job, is just sitting down, and this is taking way longer than normally would. Let's see, 71 to
'Cause you're
73.
yapping.
Yeah, because I'm yapping. Because normally it would not take this long. I would have had the tray about done by now. But because of List Easier, this is literally the most difficult part of my job now, because sourcing is a breeze. Storage is a breeze because we 3D print these and we can store. I'm only doing about 20 to 30 per thing. So when I go to pull them, they're easy to pull. So yeah, really every piece of this is very easy now. It's almost relaxing just to sit out here and click a front and back picture and then throw it in a tray and you're done. Because when I go back to my computer, I upload that folder of photos and I have a template set up and I just say go ahead and list them and go through and put a price on all of them. Like it's really a simple part of the job now. Let's see, Deanna Van Beek 2477. Hey Deanna, thank you for commenting. That is a Big Mac analogy. Well, I mean, yeah, if his name was Mac, it could have been a Big Mike, could have been a Big John.
Big Macs.
Big Mac. Teresa likes Big Macs without lettuce. I'm not a Big Mac fan. Let's see. Alice Patton 6157. I'm not listening a lot. I think she meant I'm not listing a lot. So I'm not listing a lot, wanting to see what the new tax law out of Texas is going to do with our profit. Yeah, I think it's going to be everywhere. But I've also, who said it? I think it might have been Joe at Profit First was talking about it the other day. Technically speaking, and I'm taking this secondhand, so don't take my word for it here, but technically speaking, right now, the way that law is, it's actually a tax on eBay, not necessarily the seller. Now, what you're probably thinking and everybody else is thinking is eBay is not going to lay down and take a tax. They're going to pass it on. And that may be true. That is probably true. But I don't think that's been realized yet. I don't know that that's happening yet. I guess if you're from Texas, maybe let us know. That's what she's saying too, is they're kind of in a holding pattern to see how it affects. Whether eBay passes it on or not, I think I don't know if you guys remember if you were doing e-commerce back as far as, what would have been, 2017 maybe?
Somewhere in there.
When they did the South Dakota versus Wayfair. That was a big e-commerce bill that South Dakota passed, which basically letted them tax all e-commerce sales coming into South Dakota. Before that, really no states were doing that, except with the exception of like California from time to time. But South Dakota fought it in court against Wayfair and they won. And it only took about a year and a half, 2 years, and that law was in every single state was doing it because they can get their hands on extra tax money, and it wasn't a small amount. I think this one is going to be very much the same. The question is who takes on that burden? Is it going to be eBay taking on that burden, or is eBay going to take on the burden and then pass the cost of that on to the sellers? I mean, it's eBay's liability, the way the tax is written, as far as I understand it. But, I mean, shipping's our liability. We build it in. You know, we build it into the price. So it's like these stereoviews and postcards are a good example. We ship these free shipping. The entire store is free shipping on these. But it's not free shipping. I mean, we're building the cost of shipping into the price of the product. So I suspect it's probably going to be a bit of a bump. And I don't think it's going to stay isolated to Texas. I think it's going to go everywhere. But I also, it's like the quarterly mail bump, where the USPS raises prices pretty much every quarter for the history of the USPS. Am I going to worry about that and put myself in a holding pattern or not sell on eBay because of the price increase? No, I'm not. I'm going to handle it. It's cost of doing business. It's a small cost. It sounds like it's only about 1%-ish, even if they do pass it on to the seller, which I'm not happy about. Don't get me wrong. If there was a way to fight that and stop it, I think that's preferable. But I certainly wouldn't let it deter you from making sales. I don't think it's significant enough to where you should be worried about selling something. In most cases, you're not even going to feel it. It's an extra 3-4 cents on a sale. I wouldn't let it stop you from pushing forward. Let's see. White Mountain Treasures J1R says it's chaotic. There's a fly. Couldn't have planned it better. Yeah. He's talking about in our video, we were talking about how reselling could be chaotic. We actually had a fly coming in here and just buzzing us. And there wasn't just one. There ended up being two of them. Uh-oh. We're there. We got a stereo view that's actually ripped. I'm not going to list that. So I got to go get rid of that picture so it doesn't mess up my folder of pictures. Let's see. You got to go. Delete. That happens in pretty much every one of these stereo view boxes we order. There's always a handful. Some, I've thrown away as many as 20 stereo views out of a box. Because they'll come in and they're in just horrible shape. Something's wrong with them. They're bent in half. Believe it or not, I actually found almost a dozen of these like this, the colored ones, that they must have stored folded. They folded them right in the middle of the two pictures. Those they didn't make it. They didn't stick around. Let's see, but what were we talking about? Oh yeah, the fly. We did unalive the fly. The fly is gone. And I haven't seen him back today, have you?
No, that's because I killed him.
But well, there's more.
Yes, but I deleted that one.
We live out in the country next to a cornfield and there's flies everywhere, and it's fly season. They all want in the house because it's going to start getting chilly. Although you wouldn't know it today because it's
90 degrees.
It's like 90 degrees outside. It's crazy for a fall day. All right. Ivan Geese 6314 says, love the fat guy analogy, and you're right. Reselling can be boring. Buying is so much fun, but when it comes to listing, it takes effort, and I have to push myself to do that. Love your videos. Thanks so much. Also, a side note.
Really?
Where can I find links to your Dabble whatever store and your cookbook store? First, thank you, Ivan. We appreciate that you're watching the video. You're absolutely right. The listing, the boring stuff, the cleaning, the researching, all the stuff you do that isn't
fun.
That's the stuff that takes a little bit of discipline. That's the stuff that actually makes you money, because I've never went to a garage sale and made money. I know a lot of people say it's in the buy. It's in the buy. That's where you make your money. And I get what they're saying. They're saying if you buy it low, you'll make decent money. But you won't make any money until you actually get it cleaned and researched and priced and listed and out there. Like the discipline and the hard stuff is what actually makes you the money. And that's, I think I've already said it once in this video, that's the hard part. That's the part people struggle with and why people have death piles. Because it is so much fun to go out there and treasure hunt. I know Teresa likes it.
I do. I'm over here breaking stuff.
Oh, let's see. As far as the Dabble whatever, that's Dapper and Dazzle Emporium.
Yep.
On eBay. And that store's actually starting to take off. It's doing pretty good. What do you got, five, six
sales?
And
I get viewers every day.
And it's just a week or so old. So that one's doing pretty well. She's got a bunch of listings over there, so that one's starting to pick up. The cookbook store is nothing to look at. We've just barely got it going. We haven't even got enough listings on it to turn it into a store. So it'd be very, I don't even know if you could find it by name because it's not a store, but it's Cookbook Collective is the name of the site. And we have a lead. There is a fly in here. You little booger. We have a lead on a bunch of cookbooks that I think we really didn't start making decent sales on even the Ephemera store until we had 300, 400, 600 listings up on the store and got it going. So there's no traction over there yet. It's really not doing much. We're just kind of getting it set up and we're not sure if it's going to work or not work, but it's worth a shot. So we're giving that a try. Again, it's one of those, we're chasing the shiny rock and we're just kind of going to see where it goes. But that's what those two are, Dapper and Dazzle Emporium and Cookbook Collective. You can find them on eBay. Tim Halcombe, 4041. Thank you for sharing. Prayers you all have a blessed name in the name. Prayers you all have a blessed day in the name of Jesus Christ. Thank you, Tim. Back at you. Marcus 101. I can confirm Cory has great and hilarious analogies. Cory's not real good at reading.
No crap.
But he can crack a joke from now and then, from time to time. He's not even good at talking, apparently. Thank you. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate that. We try to keep the channel interesting. A little bit of humor helps. If we didn't have humor, I don't know that we'd be married. Would we? What do you think?
I don't think so.
Humor keeps us married.
I don't like you that much.
If I can keep her laughing, she can't run as fast. And if she can't run as fast, she can't catch me. And that's how we stay married.
I can't run as fast anyway.
But you run faster when you're not laughing, though. Let's see. There we go. Nazareth. Okay. Backyard Farm Buddy says, I wish I could make that many sales. Well, you absolutely can. Don't get sucked in by the fact that we have a YouTube channel thinking we're actually good at this thing, because we're not really that great of resellers. We try, and we get better every year, but there are people that are so much better at this than we are, so that you could definitely make as many sales as we do. It's just a lot of work. It's just a lot of putting it together. And I will say that having two people is something a lot of people don't have. Having two people working on this full time. I don't even have to think. I know for a fact if we didn't have two people doing this, we would not be doing as well as we are.
No, and if we didn't have two people doing this, I could buy what I want.
If we didn't have two people doing this, Teresa would have a death pile. Well, Teresa has a death pile.
No.
Teresa would have already been buried and people would have been looking for her. I think Teresa has the hoarder bug sometimes. What do you think, Teresa?
Nope.
Lies. See, she's even in denial. She has a bit of the denial bug, too.
There's no such thing as a denial bug.
The denial bug?
Denial is in somewhere else.
It is. It is. It lives within you.
Where's it at? The Amazon? I don't know where denial is.
Don't give up, Backyard Farm Buddy. You could definitely do as many sales as we do and more. Two Tricks Resale commented. I didn't see that one before. Wow, that is crazy. I'm so happy y'all were able to find that giveaway from us and make that much profit. Love seeing that stuff. It makes what we do here as resellers fun and interesting. Two Chicks Resell, you guys have been amazing. In case you guys don't know, we run an auction marketplace called the Dollar Auction. I mentioned it earlier. Two Chicks Resell is, I think, about the only person that still goes on there and
runs lives
on a fairly consistent basis. And their lives are, we're not talking whatnot lives. Like, they're actually bringing really decent stuff. And they're selling it, and they have great personalities, and they put on a good show. And we have sourced from them weekly. Pretty much every week we buy a few things from them.
Dude, they come into a lot of patches, and they come into a lot of pins.
Yep.
And with Dapper and Dazzle now, that works out great.
Like, we're pretty frugal. We don't buy just to buy. Like, if they weren't bringing good stuff that we could resell and take advantage of that as a source, we wouldn't buy. There was a lot of people that ran auctions on the Dollar Auction that we didn't buy from. So we're not buying just to support. They actually put on a really good show, and they bring good stuff. And it's kind of been a blessing for us because we source there. It's been really good.
I'm hoping that they'll get to come up for P2P.
Yeah.
They talked about it, but I don't know if they'll get to come up. So.
Well, hopefully. Thank you, Two Chicks Resell, for the comment, and thank you for running auctions on the Dollar Auction. And if you get a chance and you can make it to Omaha for Planes to Profit this March, we'd love to meet you guys. Let's see. Sour Poison 5681. Someone cannot stand competition. Reselling is the wrong business for you. Just find a new job and quit trying to discourage others because you didn't have success. Okay. And then a whole bunch of laughy emojis. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I think that was just
jokingly?
I think that was in jest. I don't think they're trying to be mean.
I hope it is. For us, just to bring the actual the reality of reselling to people, because we've discussed it lots before about people, you're seeing the joys of stuff and you're seeing all these big wins and everything from everybody, but not everybody realizes you have to do the actual work for it as well. Or they do, but
I guess my first thought when I read that was someone cannot stand the competition, and you're right, I don't want the competition. If I thought us doing videos or talking about the stuff we buy and sell was actually creating competition, I'd probably stop doing it. I mean, I have enough business sense to know that you don't create a trade secret that you make money with and then go share it with the world. But how many people have a Mountain Home Norway stereo view that just happen to have it and it's from, 1902 that are selling on eBay? Who's my competition for that? 6 people in the world? And the things we sell is one-off. So it's, even if there was 1,000 people selling that, the odds that I'm going to have that to sell again are next to nothing. So they're my competition right up until I sell that, and I'm going to market at probably the lowest price on eBay to begin with. That's just not a competitive market when you're selling one-offs like that. Now, if somebody went and created these archive trays for stereoviews and they were selling the same tray as I am, and that's something that I sell over and over and over again, that's competition. I would have to make my product better. I would, I'd have to figure out something, because then I would have created competition for myself by sharing that out there. But the one-off stuff we're buying from garage sales and thrift stores, it's just not competition. Even if you're selling against 100 other people selling it, you have it once. Market at a good price, you're going to sell it, and then you're probably never going to see that item again to resell in your lifetime. And if you do, it's a one-off. It's a one-off situation on eBay. I don't believe we have competitors. I'm happy to share everything we buy and everything we sell on eBay because of that fact. We don't, in our old e-commerce business, we had competitors. We were selling the same items over and over and over. We were running ads against huge corporations that had unlimited funds, it seemed like, to sell the same products we were selling over and over. So they could outprice us, they could out-advertise us, they could out-supply us by buying the supply up before we could get a hold of it. Like, that's competition. eBay is about the simplest non-competitiveness business model that I think you could actually get into and make a decent amount of money. I mean, what, short of prostitution, there's just not one out there. Like, this is it.
Oh my.
So I don't see the competition. So I think that comment was completely in jest. And thank you for leaving a comment. But yeah, it did bring up a good point. I really don't see any of this as competitive. Silver Hair Stacker Todd says, yep, the boring stuff is how the money's made. Todd, your stuff isn't boring. You're selling gold bars and silver nuggets, and your stuff is anything but boring. But yes, you're right. To the point of the video, you're right. That the boring stuff, you still have to get it listed. You still have to research it and weigh it. And I know you sell more than that. I am just kidding with you, by the way. But
I'm not.
Absolutely. Teresa says she's not. You're the gold king.
He's going on vacation.
He's going on vacation with all his gold, like Scrooge McDuck, one of my favorite characters. Let's see. Jack's Treasures. Brian says, a new project for Cory, a YouTube channel of Cory being a farmer. I would love to see this. You guys are fun and exciting too. Thank you, Brian and Tracy. But there will be no farming YouTube channel coming. We did Plants versus Pops for a little while. That was kind of that.
Pops versus Plants.
Pops versus Plants. I set up a big shade tunnel right outside this building. We grew a bunch of different plants, propagated some trees. Here's the bad part of that. We're in the wrong part of the country. You don't want to start an outdoor channel that relies on growing things when you live in South Dakota, because things don't grow often here. They grow for a short period of time.
I don't think he's necessarily talking just about growing. He said farming. Farming includes animals too.
Well, that's more animal husbandry, right? That sounds weird, but that would be. I don't know. I don't know if I would consider that farming.
If you talk to any farmers in South Dakota and they grow animals. They're farming.
They grow animals. Let's see. I'm going to grab some more stereo views here. I can't believe I filled that tray up already. So maybe this is going a little faster than I thought it would. Let's see. 3, 4, 7. All right, there's a stack of 20. So who do we got next here? Mary Mitchell 6625 says, great sales. You guys are killing it. Thank you, Mary. And we did have a good sell day, but we were actually down. Sales have been a little down. We were up, like really up on sales for 5 weeks straight. And then last week we were down a little bit. Not at all complaining. The sales were still fantastic. But we were down by almost $1,000 compared to the previous 5 weeks. So there was a little bit of a lull. And I don't think it was our listing or the fact that we weren't doing enough of the boring stuff. I think there was just a bit of a lull in the market for us, for what we have. But I think with all the toys and the Star Wars stuff and the new in-box kind of collector stuff we have, I think fourth quarter is going to be killer for us. I think we hit that Star Wars buy at just the right time. Willow70 says, I started selling on eBay when they first opened it about 10 years. I got so sick of it I don't even want to go into a thrift store anymore. Willow, I feel your pain. There is a time. There does come a time when that fun sourcing, treasure hunting side becomes the boring, monotonous side. And I think that's part of why we switched up a little bit. That's part of why I have kind of moved to more sourcing online. I think when you're an everything store and you want to go out and source online, it's very difficult because you don't know what you're looking for. You can't just say, show me valuable stuff. Like that's not a search that's going to find you much inventory. But if I can go out there and say, I want to see, CB radios for cars, if that's all you're sourcing and that's what you're searching for, it becomes very easy to find that stuff online. And as long as you know that market, you kind of know those prices and what you could buy them at, what you could sell them at, parts and repair need to be, whatever the case is, it becomes very easy to source online. It takes that, I got to go to a thrift store out of the equation. Because you just hop on a Monday evening, find all your inventory for the week, order it, have it shipped to your door, and spend the rest of the week listing it and doing that boring stuff. So that's in part kind of why we're moving to these niche stores. The other part of that is there's probably several reasons, but that's part of it. The other part is when you're a niche store, it becomes very easy to use applications like List Easier. And all these cards are going to take me for, just the amount of time in this video to photograph. Listing them, I don't even consider the time anymore because I literally sit down when I get out of bed in the morning, I have my cup of coffee, and by the time I'm done with my coffee, I have 100 listings done. And it's a non-issue anymore. So it makes the listing part of it kind of go away. It gives all your time back. Then I have the rest of the day to pretty much do what I want to. I could source more. I can go plant a garden and start a farming channel for Jack's Treasures. I can do whatever I want.
3D print.
3D print more stuff. All right. L squared. LS queer. I don't know how to say your name. It's a different name. Can you say it? I thought it was like squirrel, but it's not.
L squared.
L squared. See? Corey's not good at reading. Hi to my favorite reselling couple. Thank you very much. And FYI, just finished taking 124 pics of my favorite jewelry for loading into List Easier. Even though I have to sort them into folders the same number of photos, I have templates set up for batch purposes, so way faster than listing one by one the old way. $500 listed yesterday in an hour. Where there's a will, there's a way, because I'm still working on getting my listing amount consistently high enough to increase my sales like you guys suggested last year. That's amazing. And I'm glad that you were able to figure out a way to change your business to take advantage of the technology that's out there now. I think you're going to be among a small group. I really do. I think you're going to be among a small group of people that are willing to make the investment, one, because it's not cheap. It's like $70 a month for the lowest tier. So you're in a small group of people that are willing to make that investment, but more importantly, willing to change your business to take advantage of it. And I think you're going to see that very quickly. That's going to change your business. It's going to change your income in a positive way. We are so on board with it, and we're not affiliates where we get nothing for telling you guys about it, other than the joy of hearing stuff like that somebody actually is taking that advice and using it. And you probably didn't even hear it from us, but I think that's awesome that there's people out there willing to change their business and make this work for them. And it's definitely changed ours for the better. Our 90-day has never been what it is now. In 4 years, we've never had a 90-day where ours is now. And that's in just the main store. We have 3 other stores, and we have the dollar auction. Like, things are going crazy, and we owe a lot of that to List Easier. And Teresa. We don't want to forget Teresa. I don't want to leave her out. She's doing a lot of hard work. We're putting in the disciplined hours, but List Easier is making it possible. We could put in this many hours and double this many hours. We still wouldn't get where we're at without List Easier making it possible to list that much stuff. Mary Morley said thank you. Thank you, Mary. Tina with the Lake Exchange. The grind is real, and I really need to do some serious listing. Tina, you do.
She could have been listening while she was driving, though, and say while she was listening to the podcast the other day.
Oh, she was listening to the Thursday? Mm-hmm. Well, Tina, let me give you some sound advice. Stop listening to that Thursday show.
Hey.
That's not productive time.
I'm pretty sure it was pretty productive this last week.
Nope. They don't say anything that's going to be helpful. It's just not a good show to be listening to if you want to excel at eBay. It's a very counterproductive show. It's just going to make you angry. You're gonna give up. You're going to chew out your postal workers. So that would reclaim enough of your time back to start probably listing some more stuff. So that's my advice for Tina. What do you think, Teresa?
I think that's horrible advice.
Teresa thinks it's horrible advice.
You can listen and list at the same time. I do it all the time.
I can't listen to that show and list. My blood pressure gets up when I'm listening to that show. All right, let's move on. Arlene, PMCM. You work so well together, probably because one likes fun aspect of resale and one likes the boring aspect. Great topic today. Thank you, Arlene. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think we have many, many traits that are so polar opposite of one another that we almost can't help but work well together. Like we balance each other out in a lot of aspects of life. And I think you kind of need that. It doesn't have to be somebody you're working with. It doesn't have to be a spouse. But I think everybody needs a little bit of that balance in their lives. And I do think that helps you in your business. Well, put it this way. You got to have somebody that every time you say, this is a great idea, you really need somebody to say, hold on, you're an idiot. Like, I do believe that. Like, sometimes you need that. Sometimes it is a good idea. Sometimes you're an idiot.
Sometimes it feels like a nut.
Yep.
Sometimes it don't.
That's an Almond Joy commercial all in one.
I don't think it feels like a nut.
I hope not. So it is, we do balance each other out well. And I think that shows on our videos. We're just kicking back ideas, and she's not afraid to tell me I'm crazy, and I'm not afraid to be crazy even when she tells me I'm being crazy. But I think that balance is important. Let's see. Nice sales guys, always making us laugh, from Loot & Co. Teresa, you know Loot & Co. from TikTok, right?
I watch Loot & Co. on TikTok all the time.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you watching. I can't say that I know Loot & Co. from TikTok because I'm not a TikToker. I don't even open the app anymore. I had it. I downloaded it for business at one point in time. I'm just not a fan of TikTok. Like I'm not even really that much of a fan of short form, although I will admit that it sucks you in and you kind of, it's an addicting format. So I'm not completely negative against short form. I'm just not a big fan of TikTok. But I would watch Loot & Co. Do you guys post shorts on YouTube as well? Or anywhere else that I could watch? I know Teresa has told me about your channel before. That's how I knew she knew you. Let's see. Southern Vermont Vintage on eBay. LOL, true story. Think twice before you quit your day job. Yeah, that is
the best advice ever. Don't go head first without a backup plan.
This eBay thing, it's 100% doable. I don't think there's anybody out there that can't do this as a full-time income. Now, you may have bills that are prohibitive to you even beginning, but I think if you took some time and stayed disciplined, you can get your cost of living down to a point to where you could make this an honest living. But it does take a lot of work. I wouldn't go flipping the bird to the boss till you had a year or two under your belt. Teresa doesn't have to take that advice because I'm the boss, right? I don't think you guys can't see her behind the camera,
no,
but
I'm busy working while he's on camera, so I am here. I'm listening.
I can assure you the look was not agreement. Lisa DeRee says thank you, Lisa. Thank you for watching as always. Lisa's been watching our videos for a long time.
I like Lisa.
I don't know if Lisa is a true fan of Grams and Pops, but Grams and Pops are a true fan of Lisa. Let's see. Rubazar 891 says, bless you. Thank you. Bless you right back, Rubazar. Who's this? Sharon Morrow 6309. Is your postcards used that's been mailed, or are they brand new?
Both.
Yeah, yeah, both. I mean, we're selling primarily cards from late 1800s, early 1900s. Some as early as or as late as like 1950s, but most of the postcards are early 1900s. Some are posted and have messages on them. Some are not. Sometimes the message on them or the postmark on them is what makes them even worth selling. I've sold a few really dumb postcards. They weren't worth anything on their own, but because of the postmark on them or the message on them, I was able to get $14, $15 out of them. So both is the answer to that question. We'll sell them new or used. And collectors don't care. It's more about the content on the card as far as the photo or what's on the back. Soda City Flips says, Dust Jacket, your booksellers, learn your shit. Soda City Flips, I do know he was just kidding when he said that. We were talking about that Star Wars book, the cover, but actually, I don't know, Shane, if that is a dust jacket. You might be right.
It was a hard case.
Right, it's not the typical dust jacket. It was a hard case that goes, like a cardboard case that goes over it. So that might still be called a dust jacket. He may be right. And we may need to actually learn our poop. But I wasn't sure if that was a dust jacket or not. Maybe a dust case. Protective cover. We got just a few more here. Kenneth Young says, I've had to stop sourcing for a while. I got behind. Kenneth, you're not alone in that struggle. I can tell you that. We've done actually less sourcing this year than any year we've been doing this, haven't we?
Yes.
Like, we stay home a lot now. We don't source nearly, like, we never used to miss a Thursday ever. And sometimes we'd go out on the weekend for community sales and stuff. Now, we're lucky if we go out every 2 to 3 weeks, we'll go out on a sourcing trip. And it's just because we got 2-3 years of over sourcing, being afraid of running out of inventory because of winter and getting addicted to the treasure hunt and you name it. I mean, it just snowballs. And before you know it, you've got 2 pole barns full of crap and mice are eating it, and you should have listed it and put it in storage already. Like, it's very easy to fall behind, and it's very easy to get addicted and pulled into that buying cycle, and it's not good, and it's not healthy. It's not good for your pocketbook, and it's not healthy for you to live in your garbage. So I completely get where you're coming from there. We have slowed way down as well. Sarah Weiss says, lather, rinse, repeat. Don't forget to lather. Yeah, we were talking about lather, rinse, repeat, and you're right. We did forget to say lather. Well, Teresa rather forgot to say lather. But where I'm lacking in the reading skills, Teresa sometimes lacks in the talking. No, that's not true either. Teresa's pretty good at talking. Mm-hmm. Teresa doesn't have any deficiencies.
I have deficiencies.
I'm going to go ahead and say that right now because she's too close not to. But lather, rinse, repeat. That is the saying. Let's see. And we just have one more, which is good because I only have one more stereo view to photograph here. And it is again from Jack's Treasures, Brian or Tracy, one of the two. I'm guessing it's Brian. And he says, for the first time in our reselling career, we have no death pile. Really a weird feeling. Guess we need more non-boring days. Seriously great info though. That is a great problem to have, Brian. Congratulations on that. I know Brian and Tracy sell and whatnot primarily.
And they buy
do
storage
sell other
units.
places. They do have an eBay store. They do sell a little bit on First Class Treasures. They buy a lot of storage units, and they sell primarily on whatnot. So they go through a massive, like way more inventory than we probably do. So to have, I can imagine it's a little bit more of a when you know you're out of inventory when you sell as much as you guys do. But I know you guys will pull in another storage unit of bags or something. You'll be right back on track. So that's a good problem. I sometimes wish I could just get rid of everything here and start from scratch again, because I think we would grow so much different. It would be such a different experience growing from scratch again. So it's not always a bad thing. It's a good chance for a new start. But I think that's it for today. That's the last of our questions, and I have a tray and 2 extra spots full. I got to go grab another tray. We'll see you guys next time.